Evelyn to Philip, November 1st, first letter, 1944. Dearest Phil, there was no mail yesterday, nor did I write. I had several reasons for not writing, as you shall presently learn. After work yesterday, my dad and I rode up to Marshall Street with George. George had to go to the dentist, and since it would take him at least an hour before he would take us home, we decided to go the rest of the way by trolley. My dad had to pick up some meat and things he had ordered, and I decided to look into some dress stores to see if there was anything worthwhile. Most of the stores were closed, but as we were passing one place, a little suit caught my eye, and I determined to have it. It was the sort of thing I wanted, and I figured it would be kind of high. I saw someone in the store and asked if I couldn't please see the suit in the window. It turned out that it was the last one they had in my size, and he agreed to let me try it on. The price, $14.95, wasn't too bad. The suit itself is 100% wool of a very heavy material, on the slightly roughish side, the quality I mean, and it is composed of gray and white checks, red grosgrain ribbon trim, and huge silver buttons. The skirt is very plain tailored with a slight flare and two pockets on either sides of the skirt at the waist. The jacket is a lumberjacket style with long puffed sleeves, red trim that looks like pockets, and silver buttons. The outfit can double for either dress or suit as I choose. At first I thought the sleeves could be longer, but they are comfortable and just about right. It's only the beginning. I need dresses very, very badly. In fact, I have but one winter dress, my blue wool with Dubonnet velvet trim. I've discarded all the others. I also have my black velvet suit, my sports suit, and a black silk skirt. That suite is my entire wardrobe, and I don't have to tell you how many things I need to have a half-decent wardrobe. Thank God I've got coats and some shoes. Now I need a nice pair of black high heels to accompany the new suit. Page 2. I also forgot to mention that Dot called me yesterday to inform me she was back. She got in yesterday morning and wants me to come out so she can tell me all about her trip. I've promised her I'll be out on Saturday night. When I got home, Faye called and asked me to go along with her to a gin rummy game. I was about to renege, being very tired, and then I said, to hell with it, I'll go along. She came over to our house, and then we went to another girl's house on 4800 North 9th. Altogether, we were 5 girls, and we were headed for D and the Boulevard. We took a cab, each one contributing 15 cents. When we arrived, we were 6 altogether, all army wives, 4 with children and 2 pregnant. How's that for a gathering? However, I had the oldest child and hadn't seen my husband for the longest time. I never played gin rummy as it really should be played, but I picked up the game in no time. In the end, I lost 20 cents. I had a very nice evening, but got to bed about 1 o'clock. I've had a terrible time getting to sleep this entire week. Last night, I don't recall closing my eyes for even a second. Consequently, I'm dead tired this evening. I can never recall losing sleep as I did this past week, and I hope that this so-called phase, or whatever it is, will pass off tonight. I'm very tired when I get to bed, but I can't sleep. Sounds funny, doesn't it? I do know that I want you, but I can't say that it's that bad that it is causing loss of sleep for an entire night. It's bad enough, and when I think that I'm a woman, women are supposed to be more self-sufficient sexually, I have a pretty good idea of how strong your desire must be. Phil, darling, I'm afraid it's a long way off, and that hurts me so much I just want to cry. I was terribly disappointed at the lack of mail, since Faye had mentioned that mail from her brother, his APO was changed from 637 to 559 also, has been coming through more regularly than ever before. Phil, I haven't the slightest idea of why your mail should be so slow in coming through, and it's that more than anything that is annoying me to death. Today is Friday, and I haven't had mail since Monday. If I don't get some mail tomorrow, I'm going to be in the dumps again. I can't stand these long, drawn-out sessions of waiting, and I have an idea that it is responsible for my loss of sleep. Please, Phil, try to write daily, if only a small letter, and keep the mail coming through regularly. Harry opens the place tomorrow. Etta was due to have her baby on the 1st, but nothing doing yet. Ought to be some news most any day, or even hour. I'm so tired, honey, that I feel I shall drop. I'm sure you'll understand why I hereby, at this very minute, say, I love you, sweet, and a fond good night. Your Ev. Evelyn to Philip, second letter, November 1st, 1944. Dearest Phil, I thought I'd try writing instead of typing this evening. Jessie is busy typing a letter to her hubby, and I thought I'd take advantage of the opportunity to write for a change. There was no mail this morning, except Sharpendome's check. I am sending along 2 more pin-up girls that I thought very attractive. We have many of them about on our blotters, and I thought you'd enjoy looking at them. I got into work earlier today so that I could finish some of the work that had piled up. I'm strangely at a loss for words, and I'm trying to dream up something to say. Suppose I talk about Adele. When we come downstairs in the morning, she refuses to allow me to help her down the steps. She says, quote, Mommy, give me a yawn. Page 2, I'm tummin'. That's exactly how she speaks. Adele likes to tell me stories about the baby bear, mama bear, and papa bear, and delights when I tell her a Tory story. Adele is a few inches taller than Richie, who is 11 days older. Yes, she is rather tall for her age. My check came in the afternoon mail, and as usual, I intend to buy a $50 bond with the remains of the check. When I receive your October bond and buy the aforementioned bond, we'll have a total of $1,100 in bonds, and mister, that ain't hay. I'm enclosing a circular that the United Gas Company printed for Harry as an announcement. And that just about winds up the news for today. It's costing Harry $512 to get started, and if the station does not pay, he'll get every cent of it back. Good night, baby. I love you so very much. You should be flattered. This is my second letter to you today. Your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, 1 November 1944. My darling, had to skip writing last night because something came up that kept me busy far into the evening, and when I was through, I was too tired to attempt it. It was a very full day for me, and the time fairly flew. Today was another busy one for me. I am CQ tonight, and just because I'm in a letter-writing mood and have plenty of time to get off a longie, there wasn't any mail for me today or yesterday. As a consequence, I have very little to write about. My semi-monthly 48-hour pass comes up tomorrow, and I was kind of wondering what to do about it. There are 3 alternatives, and I have yet to make up my mind which one to choose. First, I could go to London, have a Turkish bath, see all the shows, etc. This would cost me about £3, $12. Or I could spend the time in Colchester visiting with the D's, Marks, or Wolfs, or all three. I could get by on about £10, $2 in that case. Or I could take a ride to Worcester to see Eddie. That would also set me back about $10 or $12. Damn this typewriter. You may wonder why I'm so concerned about money at this time. Well, Chippy, as I told you the other day, I'm completely busted. So whatever I spend this trip will go under the debit column, and I don't want to go too far into the hole. Of course, it goes without saying that I'd like most of all to go out and see Eddie. The thing that makes me hesitate, though, is that I haven't heard from him for so long that I'm not sure that he is still there, and I'd hate to make the trip for nothing. However, I'll think it over. Maybe I'll take a chance. I'm really up a tree, sweet, about what to do, but I'll make up my mind by tomorrow afternoon when I leave. What I'd like to do is to take my furlough, visit Eddie for a few days, and try to reach Limey to spend a few days with him. But that would require some real capital, so it is out of the question. Even so, if they'd only write and keep me posted as to their whereabouts so that I could be sure they'd be there when I arrived, I'd do it if I had to borrow my next 2 months' pay. As it is, I have very little appetite to go scurrying way across England, not knowing if they will be at the end of my journey. Oh well, we'll see. The enclosed pictures were taken in August on the occasion of our beer bust, commemorating the anniversary of our arrival in England. I only managed to get my puss into 2 of the pictures, and I don't look any too good in either. But I thought I'd send along the lot anyway. Just to save you the trouble of looking too hard, I X'd the backs of the 2 snaps in which I appear. If you could get hold of some film, as I asked you 2 months ago, I'd try to get some really good snaps for you, Chippy. There is really very little else I can write about, sweet. I might say that it is getting colder, that we have rain practically every day, and that we're burning wood of an evening in the tiny Nissen hut stoves in order to take some of the chill and dampness out of the place. Just think, honey, here it is November already. It strikes me as queer that the time seems to go so quickly in spite of the fact that I'm so impatient to see the end of the war and my return home to my loved ones. Guess you better count me out as a guest at the pumpkin's birthday party, sweet. I'm almost convinced that I won't be able to make it. I don't think there's much hope that I'll see you at all this year, but I refuse to believe that 1945 will be very old by the time my fondest dream comes true. Maybe in time for our 4th anniversary, eh, sweet? I haven't forgotten our resolve to return to 1777. That's another dream I've been living in hopes of seeing fulfilled before another year is out. Gee, baby, there are so many things I want to do soon after our reunion that I hardly know where to begin. But I think 1777 would be the appropriate beginning, don't you? Bye now, my darling. Try your best to be patient. Someday, all our empty todays will be just so many memories. The day when us again becomes an actuality, and all the days that are to follow will be the only ones that count. Keep punching, sweet heart. I love you more than ever. Love to Adele and all from your adoring Phil.